We are live.
We're live. We're going to get stuck. I was going to say we're going to get cracking straight away. That is the right thing to say. We're going to get cracking straight away today because we've got loads to talk about, and we're going to be talking all about marketing that works, doing marketing that you love, and focusing on a few core things and nailing those. And everyone's nodding their head, and everyone said this is their favourite topic. Janine, you look very head noddy, so come on, tell us.
It's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it? If you pick stuff that you enjoy, you're going to be more likely to do it and follow through on your plans. But when you're a small business owner, or even if you're working in a marketing department, if you're doing something because you feel like you should do, and it's this feeling of obligation and this feeling of effort, it's horrible, and you're not going to stick with it, and it's not your fault. One of the examples that I've had several times over the last few years is people who say, I can't get Instagram to work for me, perhaps I'll try Pinterest. It's like, well, okay, if you're on Pinterest and you enjoy Pinterest and you use it more than Instagram and you get it more than Instagram, but if you don't, you're going to be starting a whole new social media platform from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. It's that thing about focusing, isn't it? And I suppose we've got two things to think about. We've got the small, I suppose today we're probably talking about smaller business, aren't we? We're talking about solopreneurs, coaches, and smaller businesses that don't have massive marketing teams, where obviously they can do multiple things and have people doing lots of different channels. So, yeah, I suppose it's inspired by some of ourselves, isn't it? What we've been thinking ourselves.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to echo what Janine said. And I think it's much better to do one or two things really well than feel like you have to be everywhere. And I think there's a lot of people that I talk to that have been told by experts, and I'm sure they are experts in their field, but this is what you should be doing. You should be doing this. You should be posting this much. You should be on this channel. You should be doing this. And there's a lot of shoulds in it. And I believe what Janine said is that actually there's a two-way point. It's like, what do you enjoy doing and where are your customers? And if you can meet somewhere in the middle of that, then that's where the gold dust is. And there are plenty of people that, for example, only advertise on LinkedIn and ignore the rest of the stuff, or only advertise on Instagram and ignore the rest of the stuff. So that's the first thing. And also, I think we touched on this a couple of weeks ago when Leah came on, which is this idea of quality over quantity. And I think that's really key as well, because sometimes I work with people and they're like, I'm posting 2 times a day, every day on Instagram, and it's not working. It's like, how on earth have you got 2 interesting things to say every day? I don't have 2 interesting things to say every day. So I think also pulling apart all the things that you feel like you should be doing and just bring a bit more joy in it and just meet your customers where they are and have a bit of fun with it, because it's social, isn't it? People forget the word social in social media. But it's all about connecting and having fun and building relationships. And if it becomes, like Janine pointed out, like a should, then it's not fun anymore, is it? If I feel like I should go to a party, I'm probably going to have a lot less fun than if it's something I want to go to. So, I think there's like a algorithm mix, wonderful alchemy thing that goes on. But pulling away all the shoulds and starting away with what feels good is a good point.
Oh, Debbie, this is like music to my ears right now. Because I have been getting caught up in that cycle of should. And
yeah.
I am a rebel and I don't like to play by the rules. And I thought, no, do you know what? This has been suggested to me. I'm going to be a good girl and do it. But it's like, I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. Actually, I don't want to show up at all now. And I've been having conversations with different people this week. And I had one with Emmy the other morning. And it's like a light bulb went off. And it's like, you know how to run your business. You didn't start 8 minutes ago. You started 8 years ago. You know what you need to do. Go back to having fun. And it's all about connecting with people, having conversations and collaborating. Yeah. And right now, I'm not doing any of those very well. And it's like, just go back to basics. So I'm stripping away everything.
Yeah.
Focusing on my intuition, because my mum says to me all the time, your intuition is so strong, but you're constantly looking for external validation and you're investing in other people, but their way doesn't work. You know what works. And it's like, yes, Mum, I know. It's a piece of, and one of my clients says, we always create a prison cell around ourselves that we can walk in and out of whenever we choose. And I'm just like, oh my God, I've created this prison cell for myself. Let's just walk out.
Yeah, make the choice.
How does it feel to be free?
Oh, I mean, now I'm more tired because it feels like I've now done 10 rounds with Tyson. But all this other stuff's now dropped in of how can I improve the customer journey? How can I improve my client acquisition? And it's like, hold on Monday, I wouldn't have even thought of this stuff. So it's given me the headspace and the clarity to really focus on what do I want that is fun, that brings in clients, but also improves their experience of working with me. And I think that's kind of where it got lost. Actually, what do my clients want from me? Not all these people who could be clients. How about the ones I'm working with right now? Let's just focus on them, because as we know, it's going to be more expensive to replace them as it is to keep them happy and keep them with me for longer. So it's been a week of light bulbs.
And they'll recommend you. I think we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? I said, just, you know, if the mission critical thing for me is look after my existing clients, don't do anything else, but look after my existing clients. I'm going to do a great job with them. They could well continue with me. And if they don't, they're going to refer me to other people and we all leave happy. And actually, I think we can spend too much time, can't we, looking for new clients, when actually, if we look after our existing ones really, really well and do an amazing job for them, spend an extra couple of hours, a week servicing them rather than looking for new clients, then that really works. I think it's really interesting though, isn't it? Because like people always say like networking doesn't work. You can't scale a business with networking. I agree. If you're wanting to scale a multi-million unicorn business, you're going to need more than a bit of networking. But for many of us who are just wanting to grow small businesses, lifestyle businesses, networking works amazingly well. But I suppose that's because I love it. So I think it's like Janine, like we're all saying, it's about picking something you love, but critically, it is important to think like where the customer is as well. So there's no point being on Twitter if you love it to acquire customers if none of your customers are there. But there will be places where your customers are, which you also enjoy doing.
Yeah, you're looking for this Venn diagram kind of overlap thing, aren't you? A couple of things that just came to me, Laura, when you were talking there as well, is that I think there can be a bit of a, like, if I throw enough shit at the wall, something's going to stick approach to social media. And that's not the great way to do it, is it? I'm just going to throw stuff out there. I'm going to just keep throwing stuff out there and hopefully somebody will see it. There's about being more strategic, and probably building on those connections and relationships is a more strategic thing than just thinking, I'm going to throw stuff out there. And also, I do love a bit of like law of attraction and woo-woo stuff. And I think sometimes when we're so desperate for the clients, we almost repel them because we get into this kind of state and then we're feeling a little bit stuck and then everything feels a little bit hard. And I don't know how people sense that or how that comes out through the internet, but it kind of does a little bit. And I think actually when you pull back and you just start enjoying your business a lot more, things happen, doors open, things come, things come apparent. And maybe it's because you're not looking for it so hard, or you're not busy doing all this desperate stuff. So you start to notice the opportunities when they come up because your attention's kind of been taken away from the having to do stuff all the time. So I always think if you're exhausted, just pull back. And the other thing for me is that I notice that my social media is really cyclical. So we're all women here, and there is definitely a week of the month when I have nothing to say and I'm not very energetic. And in that week, I just do the bare minimum. And I think, well, if not, I've got this Friday marketing comes out, a blog post comes out, the thing with Bertie comes out. That's 3 things. The rest of it can just, go out of the door. And I think allow yourself to have breaks as well, like whether that's cyclical or whether that's a lot of people are saying we're going to take the whole of August off. We're exhausted and just remove ourselves from social media. And I think having breaks is really good as well.
Yeah.
We're all going to do, I'm taking August off. I'm going to do a couple of Friday marketing shows, and I think we're all taking a few Friday marketing shows up, aren't we? And having a little bit of a break. And I think that's so important. I said to Laura, when we were having our chat, just have a break, honestly, wind back in, do nothing. And it's amazing, as you said, when you do that and you go for a walk or you're just doing something totally not focused on work, you have these amazing ideas, don't you? And it was like, what, like you're saying, nail the customer journey. Just make the customer journey that there's very little cost in that, and the difference that it can make is huge. So it's one of my clients that I work with. We didn't spend any money during the pandemic. We just worked on their customer journey, and their renewal rate increased by 10%. And they've got like over 100 clients, and the clients are worth, quite a lot of money to them. So that extra 10% is huge. It's just pure profit that just came from taking a step back and thinking, what can we do that, is nice, fun, enjoyable, making it better for the client. It wasn't about going and spending loads of money on, Facebook ads or something like that. It was just tightening up what you've already got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting what you told us this morning before we went live is that, the Friday Marketing Show is being shared on Facebook as part of ads. And through the analytics of the ads, you can see where people are dropping off. Well, we wouldn't have that insight had you not have had some spend behind the ads. And I think it's, again, figuring out what works for you and the business, and where can you see the loopholes that social media can then maybe plug, or you can think, okay, this maybe isn't working, let's change it and reframe and try something else. And I think that's the most amazing thing for all of us in business with social media, is we can adapt and just kind of pivot and learn on the fly and just have fun. I think, Debbie, what you said, just have fun, essentially, is what it all has to come down to. Because if it's not fun, we don't want to do it.
Yeah, we only get one life. Come on, girls. What were you going to say, Janine?
I was going to say the people that, there are so many small business owners and entrepreneurs out there. And I can really see, it's almost like when you step up to the next level and you really start to fly, those people, you can see that they've just stopped copying what other people are doing or following what other people are suggesting, and they're just doing everything their own way. Their newsletter is, however often they want to send it, and it's in the style that they want to send it. It's the tone that they talk in, and just everything about them. It's just like, oh yeah, I've dropped all the baggage. I'm just doing it my own way. And it's almost like when you're at this lower level and you're like, oh my God, I'm not confident enough in my own intuition, like Laura was saying. I'm not tuned in. I'm not listening to my own intuition. I'm not making my own decisions yet. Although we can go through cycles. I definitely go through those cycles as well. It's not like you never do it again. But you can really see that the people that are flying, they're just doing it their own way. Just doing it their own way.
I think that's the thing. And, one of the things that we were talking about, Laura, wasn't it, is like, we're all part of Growth Collab, this network for coaches and consultants. If you actually took the time to schedule 2 calls per week with these other women who are already like warm leads, they're already part of a network, they're all ambitious, and actually had time to really connect with those people, I believe you get so much work out of that, from networking and showing up and just really connecting with people. I think that can be a really great way to grow your business without having to do a lot of the cold stuff, where actually if you get a cold prospect and it's much, much harder to convert them, they're probably going to be looking at your price versus someone totally different price, and they don't actually know anything about you and why you're so great and what your USPs are and why you're different, and they're shopping on price. So I think, for smaller businesses, things like networking and strategic partnerships and all these things that we talk about, reaching out to people, it really does make a difference, doesn't it? And Kate's saying you need to create the space for inspiration and opportunity to drop in. Yeah.
And just going back on the networking, I have been that person that said networking doesn't work, but I knew it's because I hadn't found the right group. So the women with weren't, without sounding rude, weren't at the same level as the clients that I want to work with. But what's happened, a few months ago, people have decided to work with me who I met 3 or 4 years ago. And it's just shown me that actually everything we're doing isn't necessarily to attract our ideal clients for today, but we still need to attract the people who could be ideal clients in 6 months or 6 years and nurture. And then they know absolutely 100% that we're the one to work with. So for me, it's just like, just keep showing up and sharing your message in a way that brings you joy, and then the right people will flood in. And it just so happens, Growth Collab, I haven't done a lot outside of the actual networking sessions. You know, I'm now working with a strategic partner. I'm getting referrals sent to me, and it's like, and when Emmy said the other day, just focus on the other women in the group, and I'm like, yeah, this is what my sales mentor would call leaving money on the table. And there are like, I've probably got like 40 people who open every single email I send. Have I done anything to warm them up? No. And it's like, let's just get back to basics. This is the easy stuff. Stop focusing on the shoulds.
Yeah.
Let's banish the word should.
Yeah, exactly. And Faith saying when you're comfortable with you, have identified your why, you show up different as an entrepreneur. I think that's so true, isn't it? When you've, you know, and it's difficult when you're setting up a business that all those things don't actually come, you know, straight away. We have imposter syndrome. We maybe feel like we're not the right person to do that. Maybe we haven't identified exactly why we're doing what we're doing, or maybe we're actually not doing what we love initially. But when you've done all those things, it does really help, doesn't it? I think we've all been through that process, haven't we?
I think the thing that really gives you as well is that helps with that comparison, because when you've got a really good, strong foundation, you know exactly why you're doing things and the clients that you work with and the transformation that you make, you stop comparing yourself to everybody else on social media because you found your own lane. So being in that kind of comfortable zone, like Janine said, like at that point where you're like, you can kind of let go of all that baggage and you're like, this is my tone of voice, this is who I'm doing, and this is how I'm talking. This is who I'm talking to, just makes a big difference because there's confidence in that. And boy, one of the things we need as entrepreneurs is bags of confidence, because it's really vulnerable putting yourself out there. Do you want to buy my product? Do you like me? You know, it's kind of a little bit of a, you know, people are judging each other because that's what we're hardwired to do. So the more that we can build this solid foundation, the more confident we are going out there and talking about our offers. I just wanted to talk about one of the comments as well that turned up in LinkedIn, which was, what if you're starting a business? Where can I start with social media? To that person, the number one thing is have a face and a name. Like that's the number one thing you could do, because we don't know what your name is and we don't know what you look like. And when we're working and buying from people, we need to establish a relationship. So LinkedIn user anonymous face, go and give yourself a face and a name, and you will instantly find that you can connect with people much more easier. And that's just, you know, people buy from people, and I hate that thing because it's a bit, everybody says it, no, like and trust, people buy from people, gets a bit banded around. But the more that we can build relationships with people, the more we like them, the more we're likely to buy our stuff. So not being anonymous would be the number one thing to do in marketing. So I just thought that was funny that they were asking that question. It's like, just be a person. Start from that.
They might be new to LinkedIn. They might not have yet worked out how to do all those things. So if you are new to LinkedIn, go and Google how to add your photo and all those other things. And in fact, yesterday, I just put one of those little videos behind my photo, which is Axel shouting, "This is Emmy Faust," which is quite fun because then you can mess around, can't you? And you can just be silly. And actually, you know what? Yesterday, I was thinking I would never normally put that up, like my 4-year-old shouting, "This is Emmy Faust." And I was like, I don't care. I'm just here to have fun. I want to have a laugh. And if people don't like that or they think it's silly, I don't care, because I've got 4 children. They're a huge part of my life, and you know my clients have got to be up for that. We need to finish in a minute, ladies. This has been so much fun, though. It's been so great to talk about all these exciting topics. We've got less than a minute and a half left. So anyone got any quick closing thoughts before we say goodbye for Friday? Well, I've been putting everyone on the spot. Come on, ladies.
Oh, Janine, you're muted.
Oh, Janine.
He's chatting away.
My husband was hoovering. It's like, shut up.
That sounds good. I like a husband who hoovers.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Can't complain. I was going to say, do really, like we were talking about networking. I mean, that's not for everyone. You know, community building, that's not for everyone. Try and connect with what you like, because there's, you know, loads of introverts out there that don't actually, you know, they want to do it their own way. So you know, do have a think about what
blogging, content, all those things are great, aren't they?
Yeah, do it your way. That's a good thing. And then I'm like singing that New York song in my head.
Right, ladies, let's say goodbye. We've got to keep these short and sweet. It's been amazing to see you all. Have a fantastic Friday, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.